peoples all over the world pray and fast. May peace reign all over, especially in troubled regions. Allah's blessing to us all. May the supplication of every sincere heart be heard. Ramadan Kareem.
And it's time for the newspaper review proper this morning. Today is also the 14th day in the month of March 2023. I am Fina Okechukwu.
And I am Chukwuma Okoro. I'm here by Fanimo. He actually stays back to help us make sense of major headlines in Nigerian newspapers. Good morning.
And then also we have Comrade Ibrahim Momo. He's still going to be part of this newspaper review proper. He joined us from our Benin studios. He's a lecturer at Bruce Ali University. He's also a political commentator. Thank you so much, Comrade Ibrahim Momo, for being part of newspaper review.
Thank you for having me. Good morning once again.
All right, without wasting much time, let's start over. We have the Punch newspaper, we have the Guardian, and there's Business Day, and a whole lot of other national dailies before this morning. I would like to start off from the Guardian newspaper, and the banner headline, from gown to first-class solutions, more first honor and university, and there's a wizard, and people are looking at it though, but they track where they are, like they have different agenda. All right, of coalition can out Tinubu in 2027, says Taylor. Natasha, assembly clerk, others face contempt charge. Fubara tax assembly on Supreme Court ruling amid calls for CJ probe. Reps pass amended naughty tax bill, retained 7.5% VAT. Obi returned to PDP imminent. Engages party stalwarts, governors forum. Nigeria's design from over 1,260 open mine pits. Experts warns. Again, TCN battles vandals as 4 towers collapse in Warsaw's grid supply. Dangote launch billion naira food aid for 1 million Nigerians. Inmates dying in custodial centers due to poor feeding panel fines. All right, and the Punch newspaper today. FG knocks Obasanjo as ex-president, rates Buhari's worst in corruption. Presidency Lampo Buhari's fraud index. And beside the masthead, the Punch newspaper now, beside the masthead, suspension. Embattled Natasha files fresh suit against Senate. I'll take that again. Suspension. Embattled Natasha files fresh suit as Senate. The window headlines. Approve new VAT and sharing formula for states. Begin talks over rising fares. 2027 PDP governors Obi NPP mole alliance to stop Tinubu. Set fund plans into varsities. Customs intercept $1 billion, 135,000 SR at Kano Airport. And the last but from still there is no fuel subsidy payment again. Fuel subsidy is gone. Some people happen. Why is it that we are owing 7.7 trillion? And recall that particular money supposed to be fuel subsidy payments from June 2023 to September 2024. Chukuma.
Oh, well, Fina, where do we start from? The Guardian said a lot about it. The town and gown. Yeah. You know, people, I think they are complaining that with graduates, we are not seeing the products. And we are not seeing the products, you know.
In California. Researchers are turned into the valley for actualization of technological advancement. We have 5, 6 universities in the state, and we can't see a product emanating from the researches of those universities in that community. That is where the gap has been detached from the town. Then, what is the quality of first class we have today? Those in school made towards first class, you can predict the trajectory of that first class material. If going into academics to end up being a professor, or
yes.
But today you see first class roaming the streets. Look, in UI was created in 1948. Up until about 5 years ago, Department of History that had produced couldn't get a first class until 5 years ago. And even in the environment, I was in the senior staff club. The professors were interrogating, is it that we have reduced the markings that gave that particular person first class? But conversely, you go to private universities, in a graduating year, you see out of 4,000 graduates, you are seeing 700 first class.
No, I'm not sure I've seen 700. But I know there's about 100 and something.
There was a particular year in AMTI that 4 siblings in the same department made first class. And there were over 500 first class in that
4 siblings.
Yeah.
If 4 siblings made a first class, it's understandable. You can explain that. Maybe
the gene.
The gene. Maybe they are the Mafidons. You know the Mafidons.
The Mafidons don't come easy.
That they are doing. That are doing
you. When I master, I was do battle. I was thinking as students. Do you know that?
As teachers.
As teachers, as okay. I realized that not up to 3 weeks in class, question the 2 lecturers. These people were spying. In fact, Queen Elizabeth was alive then. I said, come on a visit and meet these people, and they said they are lecturers from Nigeria.
We have a lecturer on this table, so we need to ask him all this question. We need to get Comrade Ibrahim Momo to tell us what is really happening.
Now,
exactly.
You understand?
Two. A particular was lecture on a particular course, and it was twisting channels of that has never existed. But because I was in class, so he assumed that everybody was copying the notes. I just sat by and I was watching. So what do you mean? I said I'm a mass comm graduate. So you won't tell me to learn in channels. So I know. You know, in anger, he stormed out of the class and he went to report me to. When HOD called and I showed him that how he got. Do you know that the man couldn't do anything?
Okay.
He became my enemy and he waited for me during project defense.
Okay. So now let's go to Benin City where we have Comrade Ibrahim Momo, you know, who was with us during the morning show. And the apparent decline, is it? Tell us, Comrade Ibrahim, please, can we have your take on the discrepancy between town and GAN. Why are they unable to make land-breaking prescriptions for the revival of Nigeria's economy and society?
Well, thank you very much. I'm conflicted. I'm an active player in the education sector, being a lecturer, but I'm also somebody who is concerned with the decline in the level of standard of education in the country. The first point to make is that having a and so anybody who gets a first class, I didn't get a first class. I worked hard for it, I didn't get it. But anybody who gets a first class, somebody who at least does know something. And then it is sometimes we see colleagues, maybe because of cultural background, may not be able to express themselves in proper English. I thank God I'm that. So, but that does not make it that the lecturer is not qualified to lecture. The Chinese don't lecture in Chinese. The Indians don't lecture in English. Sorry, they do not lecture in English. The Indians don't also. But you look around the world, the tech savvy, see in the largest, the most fastest growing, where you have taking place is in China. So it's not about the language. Assuming we could communicate in Europe, and then your is correctly, then that'll be okay. So the point I'm making about that is that sometimes we English language communication is not education. There are illiterates in the US who speak fluent English. So on the particular issue around how first class is not graduates in on Nigeria to a first class economy or a fast growing economy or even leap from the third world to the first world. Yeah, I think that we can situate that within the public policy arena. The question to ask: what is the level of investment? Because you want, a transformation from the gown to town. What's happening in the gown, as in the case of the university or the polytechnic or college education, to translate into growth in the economy, into advancement. But what are we putting into that would bring a seismic difference in the town? That's the question we need to ask ourselves. What is the level of infrastructure at the very minimum? Whether it is movable infrastructure, buildings, or even research laboratories across faculties. What is the level of investment in the educational sector? What is the quality of pay? Interestingly, I'm sorry to put this out there, the university I work are still paying with the 18,000 naira minimum in an economy where the minimum wage is 70,000 naira. Even if it was 70,000 naira competitively in dollar term, how much is 70,000 naira? Is that what a lecturer at the most? So I'm saying that the level of remuneration of academia in the academics is very, very abysmal. I have the federal government is giving them the award of 35 and 25% and the 7,000 naira minimum wage. They are still not paying federal university lecturers that amount. I don't work in a federal university, I work in a state-owned university. So I'm saying that when you look at the infrastructure, when you look at the remuneration, or even you want to look at the tools, I think when the little we are not doing enough. The one that the universities are doing, what is the town doing with it? How much tax? Okay, how much does government even little see when government is changing? when government is introducing one policy or the other, they bring in foreign expertise. They bring in foreign, the president of Nigeria, his vice, the governors.
So now, are you of the opinion, Comrade Ibrahim, are you of the opinion that even the 700 billion naira that will not even be seen, it will not yield any fruit? Is that what you're trying to say at this point?
The first thing is a plan, Adi. Disbursement. That is the issue. Let them disburse. Let them tell us that they have disbursed to universities and polytechnic colleges. And that's the first question. They plan to disburse. That is the key word. At the end of the day, the plan does not come to fruition. The universities in Nigeria, college education, polytechnic, they are highly underfunded. Underfunded, and the government knows about that. So telling us that they have a plan to disburse, it's nothing. It's a policy statement. Okay. It is. They have this conversation because they have disbursed 700 billion. This government is doing so. We have disbursed 700 billion in the fiscal year 2025. What have we gained for that money that we have disbursed? That's a different ball game altogether.
Okay. All right then. Thank you very much, Comrade Ibrahim Momo. I think you brought another dimension to the whole discussion. The decline in the quality of education. Contrastingly, while there is this decline in the quality of education, we see an upsurge in the number of first-class graduates. That is what we are trying to reconcile. Who are unable to,
defend the first class.
To defend the first class. That is essentially the problem.
That's why I didn't bother to mention that.
Okay.
Who are those giving first class? Which university? Is it the publicly owned universities or private owned universities?
Both of them. Both.
No. It cuts across now.
I beg to disagree. If you put together the total number of first class graduates in all the public universities, it may not even be up to what one private university has given us as first class.
So that is why we say that it cuts across.
In the university where I work, for the last session that just ended, total number of first class will be less than 10, about 8. But you will see one private university. I'm not dissing. I'm not trying to, I do not like to, do this. But this
you can have the mic against mentioning names.
Well, the point is that if we do actually do a comparative analysis, you find out that all the federal universities in Nigeria put together, the total number of first class they produce in a fiscal year, you compare it to maybe one of the frontline private universities, you find out that they have the total number, I think they're about 94 the last count of publicly owned universities, private university has produced.
Yes, I think you're right. And it's about the decline that we are talking about. For the period I stayed in the university.
If somebody, this person, it will be a miracle if that person would not make first class. But in a class of about 70 students, and then you just see at the end of...
Remember the Jabba syndrome?
No, it's not
about first class that made the Jabba.
No, we're talking about those who make first class. Now, we know...
I'm telling you that people that are in economic and harsh environment here, when they travel abroad, even under very hostile environments, they make
better scores.
They still do very well.
You understand?
Well, I think it's a clarion call on the education, people that are handling our education sector, both the Ministry of Education, Vice Chancellors, lecturers.
Let me even ask, how would the mechanical engineer go to roadside to fix his ordinary battery?
You see the way our education is structured, that the
training that they go.
That's basically about the infrastructure. Have morning show the other day.
So when
do we expect the Senate to also?
They will do. We were together in these premises when we saw during Christmas, when we saw about 30 aircrafts of the same brand flying over 30 aircrafts of the same brand flying over our roof, and immediately of revenue.
Yes.
When they make trouble, it is not that they are taking side with the masses.
Have come to stay.
Yeah.
That's exactly what.
And because it has been assured and pledges have been made, and then lobby had worked.
So, but do you think that, you know, the VAT derivation and the location that have been causing problem all this while, you know, was also looked into for the House of Representatives now at this point in time to
You see, when the lobby is right, nobody looks at the books.
You mean when emails are being sent?
I've just explained.
I think
the operating word here is lobby. How you interpret lobby?
Let's take some snippets of what was actually passed into the bill that was passed. They say tax reform bills restrict president's power to exempt waive tax payments. Government solid minerals royalty increased to 7.5%, between 7.5% to 10%, from 3 to 5%. Exempt security personnel from personal income tax. I think that's a good one.
It's a good one.
You know, so if we have
nothing comes to federal government.
Essentially, no, I think 10% because 55 plus 35 is what?
90.
Is 90.
So 10% to federal government.
The federal government retains 10%.
Now, who takes? They didn't discuss those people. I mean, those states that generate more than the others.
I think I'm not sure. You know, we were able to have the full details.
Anyway,
of the bill that was passed.
But I told you, I think you have to buy whiskey for me at the end of this program.
What exactly did you tell me?
Because I told you that this budget will be. I mean, this thing will sail through.
No, but also
collection for FIRS to be appropriated by the National Assembly. Won't that also cause another problem?
No, it's not cause. It's fair. It's fair.
You think it's fair?
It's fair.
It's fair. You know, it's fair. At the end of the day, it's still a
if you are feeding a baby, won't you taste out of the food?
Okay, let's go on to another story.
MG knocks Obasanjo as ex-president rates Buhari worst in corruption. Presidency lampoons OBJ for warning Tinubu government may dwarf Buhari's fraud index. What is any act or any kind of will I say someone coming up to question?
They are averse to criticism. They don't like it.
They don't even want.
They don't like it.
It will sound strange.
Sorry, comrade Ibrahim Momo. Please, this is a free conversation. Feel free to chime in at any moment.
About it. Yeah.
I just wanted to. I think maybe when you told me, I wanted to be around the kind of position. But to say that, to speak on the tax reform bill, I think we must give the House of Rep kudos where it is due. With some amendments that reflect the concerns that people expressed in the run to its passage. Some of them you have already listed. Another key one is that most of the northern agitation to do with VAT, and then of course the inheritance tax. And the inheritance tax was removed altogether. In this new amendment that was passed, and of course, a middle ground when it comes to VAT. I think that we should give. There are differences that we have already highlighted in the studio between what was originally presented for passing and what came out from the House of Reps. That is what I would have said on that, and then. It's a long battle. Right from the time, I think, when Obasanjo was president in 1997 and Tinubu was governor of Lagos, the issue about the return of LCAs, local council development authorities, the issue of holding, as the Supreme Court eventually ruled, the allocations to local governments in Lagos because of that act of creation. So it has been a long-running battle. So everything Obasanjo says, the current president's aide was going to.
All right, and thanks, Comrade Ibrahim Momo. Dele, you were saying something. We're talking about the rate of federal government knocks Obasanjo as ex-president raised Buhari worse in corruption.
You know what annoys me in all of this is people don't defend themselves, but they pass the buck. You catch a thief, they say, "Why are you catching me? Am I the only thief? Why did you steal in the first place? Why must we be comparing corruption index at this time and age, when you are supposed to be looking at advancement in technology and giving Nigerians new lease of life, where you can have everything in abundance? Now you are comparing notes on how corrupt the government.
Don't you think it's because of that corruption has actually stalled our rate of technological progress? That's why
That's what I'm saying.
OBJ is chiming in on this level.
OBJ laid the foundation.
Okay, I was expecting that.
Okay.
OBJ laid the foundation of corruption.
Okay, it's no longer IBB.
IBB.
We used to hear that
he
it's
laid
IBB.
it. I mean, in a democracy.
Democracy. Okay.
He laid. IBB institutionalized corruption.
By creating EFCC, ICPC, and
No, IBB institutionalized corruption, and Chief Obasanjo also laid another layer of a new building for corruption. In the face of EFCC, patrimony was sold under questionable circumstances. $16 billion was spent on electricity. We didn't move up to 5,000, and up to today, we have not moved. Over $40 billion had been spent, and we have not moved beyond 5,000. If you put 5,000 on national grid, it will collapse. And they have also designed ingenious ways of qualifying it. It's no longer collapse.
partial disturbance.
Partial disturbance. So, where are we going to start from? Why are we now doing peer review in corruption and not peer review in advancement in technology, abundant food for the masses, security for the masses? Why are we not comparing some of these governments? That's my annoyance.
So you think that...
well, if I can come in, if you don't mind, I would say that I agree essentially with the guests in the studio, and to also add that, you know, President Obasanjo, the only former who still intervenes too frequently, most too frequently in public affairs. We have had the IDB still alive in the state. Gowon is a former head of state. Jonathan Goodluck is a former head of state. Muhammadu Buhari is a former head of state. All of them are still alive. But every time, it's either he's writing letter or is making, comments. I think that it's also one factor here is that the former president, Ijeoma Egwuatu, is not really it's not acting statesmanly, with all due respect to him. I'm saying that he shouldn't be intervening too frequently in public affairs. It shouldn't be. Yeah, that's one thing. You are not seeing a start between Tinubu and Tinubu's administration and Jonathan, or with Muhammadu Buhari, even though they may disagree politically or ideologically. I don't see that kind of frequent spark between them. That's that I see.
So you think as another statesman, he shouldn't be talking about how Nigeria should be
moving forward? Talking too frequently.
Remember, he said something. He said Nigeria will be an envious nation in his lifetime, even as he's celebrated his 88th birthday. So don't you think that these are ways for him to see, while he's still alive, Nigeria become an envious nation?
Okay.
It's not by being. It's not by always commenting. That's one thing. Another talk less than he hears. Well, you don't agree with me, but that's my opinion that he should talk less. Really, it's not befitting.
Okay. Talking about talking less. Talking about talking less. Obasanjo launched his book recently. His second memoir. But he didn't make as much noise as
IBB's own.
My Journey in Service made. What happened? Is it that he doesn't want money, or that or is it that IBB's book overshadowed his own? Or maybe he should have given a little space.
I think IBB's book overshadowed his own.
Yes.
Nobody will contribute 17 billion in less than 24 hours for Obasanjo.
But at least people will make. Maybe Obasanjo doesn't need that kind of money. What does he need it for anyway?
That's it.
At least Ben's University is enough for somebody to be comfortable.
Ben's University.
Ben's University.
Ben's or Ben's?
Bells.
Obasanjo
owns Bells University.
It's okay.
It's only in Nigeria that you are not a good president if you don't own a university.
Or a presidential library.
Okay,
Fina, you wanted to talk about...
yes, about the fuel subsidy removal. The president keep on saying that this fuel removal, the fuel subsidy removal, it's a way to save Nigeria from going bankrupt.
No, it's not even a way. He said he saved Nigeria from bankruptcy. He was very exact.
Like every day, he's always bent on telling Nigerians that there's no fuel subsidy.
Fuel subsidy was removed.
As in,
I did the good thing by removing fuel subsidy. He told Nigerian youth the other day, fuel subsidy I removed was to secure your future and all of that.
This man must blow his trumpet now.
No, but what happened to the 7.7 trillion naira, please?
If that trumpet, that is the only one. It is for us to agree if the trumpet is giving us the vibes that we require, that we resonate with. You can't stop him from blowing it. Is it that you are deaf to it?
Personally, now let me ask you this. Personally, Mr. Delefani, is fuel subsidy gone, or is Nigeria still paying fuel subsidy? Personally, as a Nigerian,
we have to wait for another name for the 7.7 trillion.
No,
short for?
It's short for. It's short for, not short.
You always have a
short for.
I don't know why you are underutilizing you here. They must take you to Abuja.
Mr. Momo, please, can we have your take? You wanted to say something.
Yeah, my opinion is that firstly, I in part agree with President Tinubu that fuel subsidy removal saved Nigeria from bankruptcy. We in this country, under President Muhammadu Buhari, where 97% of Nigeria's earning was used to pay for subsidy. 97, as much as that. Between 80, I think at a low it was 83, up to 97% off.
Sorry, comrade. I think 97% of our revenue was used to service debts, not to pay fuel subsidy.
Yeah, very well. So, thank you very much. We used to have service debt. And some of these debts were incurred in passing. And then we had a situation whereby the crude we were selling, this swap agreement, Nigeria was not getting any, I think for about 2 years, last period of the Buhari administration, Nigeria was not getting zero income from crude. It was only FI that was not sustaining the economy, and Nigeria was borrowing left, right, and center. That kind of economy was not, that was not. My greatest challenge in the Tinubu administration is that, yes, you save the economy from bankruptcy. Good. Yeah, now, these savings, so what are you putting it to? Is it not higher level of profligate? We have presidential jets on a whim. Even before approval, the jet has already been bought. They are increasing allocations to states that does not translate to, even look at how long it took to negotiate a new minimum wage for Nigeria. Despite the huge suffering that first rules are brought. So it's not an issue. I agree with him entirely that Nigeria would have been bankrupt if first of all are not.
Why is it that, Comrade Mama, why is it that the selected few, the people that we know have been embezzling this money or kind of hike the prices or make Nigeria fuel subsidy payments, to be dragged to the mud and all that? Why is it that they've not been called up? Why is it that nobody have arrested them or brought them to book? Why allow the whole people, I'm talking about people of over 200 million now, suffer? What we know that in other places, for example, in Saudi Arabia, they're enjoying subsidy. They're enjoying a whole lot from the crude. Why is it that selected few, we know that these people are less than 5% of our population, those embezzling the funds that are supposed to be utilized in Nigeria? Why is it that the present administration have not really gone for them to pick them up, to rein them in? Why allow innocent Nigerians suffer?
There is this phrase around the deep states. These persons, this cabal, this subsidy cabal, they can bring down any government. I don't think the Tinubu administration is strong enough to even fight the cabal. What they can do is that they can switch off the light, which is what they are doing. No more subsidy for you. Because sometimes they not even bring in a refined product, they will bring an LFO, they want to go to the CBN and collect some big money. Then they'll give them dollar concessionary rate to import fuel that they don't even import. Only those dollars at a higher black market rate. So I think we tend to, with all due respect, remove the fact that these are the deep state too. If those guys fight the Tinubu, they will bring it down. So I think what it did was what was convenient. Lock the pipe. No more. Lock the tap. From now on, no more. But if government had put those savings to the people, it would have made more sense. But it did not. Instead, it is the elite, the noble rich, this new administration, the governors, the president, the ministers, the National Assembly, the ones who are now enjoying the savings from. Look at the new budget. I think 57 trillion.
All right.
57 trillion. Where does that money? Where do people factor in 57 trillion annual budget? Where do they factor in?
All right. I think the whole issue of fuel subsidy is something that the government actually needs to come out and explain to Nigerians. You know how much subsidy we are paying, because essentially from records available, it is very clear that subsidy was not removed 100%. Now let's go into more newspapers, but all the newspapers seem to have the same headlines. But let's take a few of them. Now we go to New Telegraph, where they said CBN, Nigeria recorded $1.92 billion direct remittances in 2024. That's last year. Edu, federal government targets 7% GDP growth to drive transformation. That's years before Trump came. You know, I'll check that again. Edu, federal government targets 7% GDP growth to drive transformation. Now we have the window headlines. 2027, Tinubu can't lose with Yari, Carlo, others backing him. That's coming from Lamido. And Nigeria, Jamaica begin direct flight talks. That's coming from the Festus Keyamo desk, and says kicks off Basa part process. Now, prisoners on death row rose by 98 in 6 months. That's coming from the NCO. Oh, I think that's that's yesterday's paper. Well, how did that get into my feed? Now, let's take Business Day. All
right, on the cover page of Business Day newspaper today, the headlines you find there are 7 things to know about Business Day CEO Forum. Okay, Nigerian music exports grow 49% on Afrobeats boom. Business Day newspaper. Nigerian music exports grow 49% on Afrobeats boom. Nigerians up earnings from YouTube, TikTok as content creation thrives. How financial illiteracy fuels rising fraud losses. And I guess, okay, there's another one, a breakdown from the shares and all that, the investment one, the Alpha Morgan, the FXX, commodities, cash settled prices, and a whole lot, the benchmark, the value, and DOD percent.
Okay, let's go to first news. I remain APC member, Buhari party loyalty, denies defection. Now the window headlines. Mohammed, I'm ready to join Peter Obi in rescuing Nigeria. This Nigeria don't suffer, everybody they rescue him. Now federal government working to reduce airfares, improve aviation safety, coming from Keyamo. People paid to get ministerial appointments in Tinubu's government, El-Rufai alleges. We missed that. I wanted to ask that question, but I think something overtook it. We'll come back to it after these headlines now. Mercy Chinwo, court orders arrest of very dark man for defamation. Now the big story, Obasanjo versus Tinubu camp. Ex-president slams greedy leaders, transactional governance. OBJ opened Nigeria to corruption. He is just jealous. Tinubu's aide. Presidency backs Lagos-Calabar Highway, calls it visionary project. Now Akpabio gets Senate's full backing in unanimous confidence votes. Governor Fubara calls for peace amid Rivers' political tensions. And the bottom strip headline, no individual bigger than PDP, says Governor Dere. Now, let's talk about El-Rufai said something. He said that people pay to become ministers in this government. And I'm thinking, is it something that we should take to the bank? Should we take him seriously?
Because we don't take it from the room.
Okay.
On the top of getting to the bank.
Because I'm wondering.
You see, El-Rufai is exhibiting so much bitterness that is spewing so many things. And one thing about politics, I've seen it happen in the past. The moment you fall out of favor from a government and you are talking from at whatever level, the consequence is even the people you are going to meet will not trust you, because at a later date you could also do the same to them. When you are labeled as a serial betrayer, it's a problem for you in politics. Nobody wants to trust you, but they will flow with you for the nuisance value you have. And that's what Rufai is gravitating towards now. let me tell you.
No, El-Rufai.
Sorry, you wanted me to add L. So
yes, so that people will be clear that it is not the other Rufai, it is L.
So what I'm saying in essence is there are certain things you don't even open your mouth because these things cannot be substantiated. Are you going to ask these ministers that are
exactly the point?
Now,
don't you think that El-Rufai has evidence?
He knows something.
He knows something.
See,
before he could come to the public to say, look, people paid for ministerial appointments.
That means he also paid to be minister in the past.
That is the question I asked. So did he get a refund when they get a refund?
Okay, if he didn't pay and he knew that one of the conditions you have to meet before you get to the Senate for screening is payment of certain amount, why did he go without paying?
Without paying. And why is he telling us all
why
of that?
Why is he telling us now? 2 years down the line, he's just remembering that he was asked to pay and he didn't pay.
Is it too late to say I'm sorry? Is it too late to tell him you leave?
Come in.
All right, Comrade Momo, go ahead.
Yes, I'm not sure what El-Rufai said was new to us, even the two of us in the studio, because we heard those tales, those accusations against the chief of staff to the president. When when the president has to come out to say that no matter what people say about him, I'm not going to sack him. He's my man. He's my, So even if he said people paid, he didn't say everybody paid. And as these issues, allegations have already been swirling around the chief of staff Femi Gbajabiamila, with all due respect to him. This is something that's in public space. I'm not saying something new, or I'm not saying something that's no evidence for. But what I'm certain is that he couldn't have said every minister paid. No. But definitely those stories, and they are not new to us. We heard some people. Okay,
so comrade, you believe that some people pay to become ministers? Is it possible?
Because I don't have evidence for it, but I didn't witness any payment. But those stories are not new. Okay. El-Rufai is not saying what we have not already paid.
That's the question.
That's
Who did they pay to?
Who did they pay to?
Is it a man who does not?
Is it to the Senate, or is it to the Senate for clearance? Or is it to the president?
Or is it to the president?
In the past, yes.
Nobody heard when David was being accused of collecting money for appointment sometime last year.
Anyway, these things happen. They have happened before. So let's.
I'm just with the head of.
Yes, exactly the point. No, I'm in agreement with you. I share your thoughts. Now, let's touch on the Daily Independent. Something good and big is happening there. Let's start from the window headlines. Reps leave VAT at 7.5%. Adopt tax reform bills. Now, South Zonal Congress won't stand. Damagun des Mwike. I'll take that again for clarity and emphasis. South Zonal Congress won't stand. Damagum des Mwike. Does it look like there's a crack in the wall between Damagum and Wike, because Damagum is now Dere Wike? Anyway, Governor Diri says no individual is bigger than the PDP. Now, the big story, I'm ready to work with Obi to rescue Nigeria, coming from Bala Mohammed, Bauchi governor. Varsities get 2.8 billion naira each in 2025 TED fund disbursement. 2.8 billion. I thought that we had 700 billion. So how come we are hearing?
I guess this one says varsities get 2.8 billion each in 2025. Plans to 700 billion.
And Comrade Momo was very emphatic when he said plans to.
And
at the end of the day, you don't get to hear about it.
Do you know the funny thing about this is some universities may not get that money after all.
Yes. No,
because you have to submit your audited account.
Private universities are not
entitled. They are not captured. That, you have to submit your audited account on the ones that you have accessed in the past before you can access this one. Okay. And most universities,
because they don't have.
Some universities can't even account.
Right. Meanwhile, they have account departments.
They have account departments, but they cannot account. Okay.
Now let's continue. Now, reverse crisis.
Have you seen the convoy of VCs?
Recently, I have not. Now, reverse crisis, Wike's rhetoric inflammatory. Caution him, Bodejo tells Tinubu. And the bottom strip headline, prioritize reverse interest, Fubara tells pro-Wike lawmakers. Now, there's a big story, on the Independent newspaper, and it says, Independent 2024 award winners emerge. Now, let me give you the names of the winners. You know, some of the expected. You know, we have your governor, His Excellency Seyi Makinde. You know, he's one of them. We have Her Excellency Senator Oluremi Tinubu, our First Lady. We have Governor Hope Uzodimma, Governor of Imo State.
He's qualified.
Yes, we have.
Is that?
We have Baba Bisi Akonde. He's qualified. We have Lucky Ayedetiwa, Governor of Ondo State. We have Chukwuma Soludo, Governor of Anambra State.
To say Chukwuma Okoro.
No, Chukwuma Soludo.
We have Osman Ododo of Kogi State.
We have yes, Dodo. Osman Ododo of Kogi State. We have Peter Odele, Lifetime Achievement Award.
Yes.
You know, we have who else? There are quite a few of them. You know, we have Heineken Lokbo, Minister of State for Petroleum. You know,
yes.
We have Adams Oshomole. We have Festus Keyamo. We have in the business people. Who do we have in the business world? We even have the CG of Customs. You know, I mean, he was able to surpass his target.
Yes.
You know, in terms of revenue generation. So that's a big one. We also have who else do we have? We have their friend Festus Osifo. You know, I think he's a TUC. You know.
Yes. Yes.
We have Nnamdi Chimdi Ibekwe, Abia State House of Assembly. You know, that's my state.
Chukwuma, don't sweat over this.
We have
say dog no they eat dog.
Okay. You know, so that is it.
You can take out the women. We have women on that.
I mentioned the Tinubu now.
No, we have others. We have Dr. Mrs. Sheri Obi.
We have Bukumi Adeaga Ilori, aka Kiko.
No, Keke.
We also have this other woman, Dr. Mrs. Senya Obi Lulu Briggs. Okay, Senya Owe Brown Lulu Briggs, Chairman, Board of Trustees, Obi Lulu Briggs Foundation. Oh, Fina, I think that's how far we can
Bukumi Gailori.
I'm happy that you didn't do any money on it because the dog not they eat dog.
But all the same, we wanted to use this independent 2024 award winners to calm your nerves, because I know the likes of you, Mr. Delefanimo, are kind of hot over what is happening in Nigeria on a lighter note. And here is where we draw the curtain. Here is where we put an end to today's
case closed.
Exactly. For this week's newspaper review. All right. Do well to still be part of the family. VOP TV encourages you to stick there. Okay. On all social media platforms, we are Voice of the People TV. That's VOP TV Live. Other social media YouTube, we had Voice of the People TV, spelled out, Voice of the People TV. All right, I am Fina. Okay, Chuku, enjoy the rest of your weekend and endeavor to be a patriotic citizen. All right, big thanks to you, Delefanimo, for coming to Newspaper Review. And to you, Comrade Ibrahim Momo, for joining us on Newspaper Review. I am Chuku Makuro. Do well to join me at 6 p.m. for Political Lens. It promises to be very interesting. Bye for now and enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'll come back to you at 6 o'clock to also tell you to enjoy your weekend. Bye for now.